Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Today I will be having a guest speaker. Her name is Tiffany Hall and she is a close family friend. She is going on the pre-vet route. She's studying animal science here at MSU. I chose her because I highly respect her opinions and I believe she has some really good information to say about climate change. Do you think that in regards to making change, are we too late at this point?
I don't think you're ever too late to start making change.
Mhm.
I think if we just, I think now we have to kind of go at a full-blown sprint because we have
Mm.
waited so long, but I don't think it's too late to make a change because I think I think right now it's more on like we need to get people working alone. Now we have to go at a more of a sprint pace because we've waited so long and we might not be able to take like the smaller steps that we've been trying to. I think we need to make larger leaps towards climate advocacy rather than like what we've been doing. I mean, the whole thing that I'm from California originally, so back there we have eliminated the use of plastic straws, and that's great. But I don't think that that's enough. Like, I think we need to take more of a look at big businesses who are using um, these big industrialized factories and other things like that, and we just aren't really taking those into account. We're more sort of looking at like the smaller aspects, and I think that in order to make a change we have to look at those bigger aspects and start at that sprint.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's crazy how far along things just progressed without us really even thinking about it. And I mean, for us, it's not really that big of a deal because I mean, it's more so our the next generations, which is scary to think about because those are our grandchildren, great grandchildren. Um,
Definitely.
yeah.
I think people they just are so focused on themselves, very the individualistic mentality that they're like, oh well, it's not my generation, so I'll be okay. But they're not thinking about the people down the line. And I think that generations in the past have been so focused on that and like, oh well, it doesn't bug me, so why should I worry about it? And we could be the generation to change that, and we can look for like look and take care of our future generations instead of just leaving them up to dry.
So, what do you think are some effective ways to engage people in a climate change discussion?
That's a good question because a lot of people are very hesitant to talk about climate change or are just very reserved about it because, like, I know a lot of people just refuse to believe that it's real and they will get really mad at you for bringing it up, basically call you an idiot for thinking that way and say, "Oh, it's just a hoax. Like the world has always been like this. It changes constantly." But they never actually realize that yes, the world changes constantly, and I know that we haven't fully under we don't have a full understanding of our environment and like the earth itself, but I think it's pretty obvious that there is something going on, and you can just look at data to see that. And I think in order to bring it into a conversation, you can't be super hostile, which is what a lot of people try to do. I know there are activists who are so passionate about it that they're just going to try to shove it in your face and yell at you until you believe that climate change is real. But I don't think that's the way you should go about things. I think you should try to you want to be passive, but not too passive because you still want them to get your point across. But I think you kind of have to ease them into that conversation and politely present them the facts. And even if they are aggressive towards you and are kind of like resentful towards accepting your ideas of climate change, you just have to keep trying.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think that it's already hard to change somebody's mind once they've made up their mind and they've been taught these things that they truly do believe are true, such as there's the flat earthers, which that's probably just due to them being pre-exposed to that their whole life. the minds of those people, that's really difficult to change. And then I also liked how you said how there definitely is something wrong that we do need to change. And I think a good example of like electric cars with Tesla, for example, like obviously we see them as new and innovative, but it's all a push towards a healthier environment, and
Mhm.
people just need to see it that way as opposed to something new and fancy.
No, definitely. And I just think that people are so like they like to be on their high horses, and even if they know in the back of their head that they could be wrong about climate change, they'll just keep refusing your data and like refusing that you're correct about it because they want to be right. People like do not like to be wrong.
So since you are an animal science major, I figured I would ask your opinion about this. So do you think animals will be affected by climate change in our lifetime?
Most definitely. I mean, they already have been. You can see the ice caps are melting every day. I mean, tons of glaciers are melting every day. There are so many animals there that live there that are dying off. The forest fires, fires in California, the fire that we had in Montana, those are killing animals, and animals' lives are at stake, and it's up to us to help them. I mean, it's it's not a coincidence that all these fires are happening now. I know people try to say that we've always had fires in California or there's always been forest fires, but not on this scale. And I think that people need to realize that these fires are a sign that the climate is changing and that these animals' lives are at stake and that we need to put an effort towards it.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything wrong. They're just living and they
No,
have to deal with the consequences that we put on them.
definitely.
It's all so sad. All right, well, with that, I thank you for your time, and I hope my classmates can gain a different perspective about climate change. And thank you again.
Of course.
Hello, I just wanted to finish the video with, my future hopes for the world, and maybe change can happen. I do understand that change is a very scary and daunting thing for a lot of people to think about. And in this situation where climate change is heavily debated upon whether it's real or not, and people still will argue with the facts and the science behind climate change, it's important to understand that some will never be able to understand that this is real and it is happening. But for those that do understand it, and those are the people that we really want to push towards changing their ways and their habits. And even if it is just something small, if enough people begin to do that, then that would be really great for the world and the climate. Um, I just wanted to finish with saying that I understand, and I think everybody else here understands that it is an urgent issue that needs to be dealt with extreme measures, because we're too far in now. Um, the climate is suffering, and things such as big businesses, factories, the amount of fossil fuels we burn is just unacceptable at this point. I think for the future, switching to a more solar energy powered system globally would be ideal. I think we're doing a good job. We're trying to get better with solar energy as opposed to fossil fuel burning and stuff like that. And as long as we stay on that track and keep pushing towards something healthier for the world, then we can definitely make improvements. They just need to be done now as opposed to later, because we are suffering. So yeah, I just want to share that I am thankful that I was able to take this course, and it was a great experience to learn from everybody that spoke and from the rest of my peers in class. Thank you.